So my agency makes about $30,000 to $40,000 every single month, and I'm going to show you exactly. I'm just going to scroll through all my sales calls here. You can see, right? But I'm going to show you exactly the one concept that was able to get me to this point where I am able to actually achieve this without really having to think very much. Okay. And this, what you're seeing here, is basically what I'm talking about. And I'm going to explain what this whole mess actually means in a second here. But it basically comes down to the premise of decision making. Okay. Now, where you're at right now, if you're at 10K per month, 0K per month, 50K per month, 100K per month, a million a month, a billion a month, it's all the reason why you're there all comes down to the decisions that you have made in the past. Okay. And kind of the importance of that statement, right, is if we can improve the quality of our decision making, we can improve the amount of money that we make. Okay? So the only difference between me and Bill Gates is obviously time, right? But more importantly, the way that we make decisions. Obviously, he's made better decisions in the past than me, and that's why he has more money than me, right? The difference between me and someone who's just starting their agency, right, is obviously I've had time to learn how to make better decisions than that person, right? The only difference between where you are right now and the future version of yourself that you want to become is the way that you actually make decisions, okay? Now, what that means is we need to become the person capable of making decisions that are able to get you to that next level in your business, right? So for me, and I'm going to explain again how this has to do with this whole screen that you're seeing right now. But for me, right, basically what I do a lot of the time, right, is I will watch basically all of Alex Hormozi's videos, right? I'll watch all of Sam Muffin's videos. I'll watch all these videos of people who are where I want to be. And the reason why I do that isn't necessarily because of the tactical content that they're providing, but it shows me how they think about different things, right? Because if I can adapt my thinking and my paradigm to the person that I want to become, I'm going to be able to become that person, right? Because I'm going to be able to make decisions like them. So that basically kind of encapsulates the importance of essentially learning from people who have already fixed all the problems that you're basically yet to solve, right? So that when you basically come up against those issues, right, you're going to have the decision-making frameworks to be able to solve them. So I'll explain what this is right now. And basically, this is, I want you to think of this screen as basically the lens in which you view problems and the basically lens in which you view the world, okay? And these black spots are like kind of like shadows, or like it's just darkness, right? And you can't see through them. And to be able to know, to be able to go in the right place, you need to be able to unlock certain parts of this lens to be able to see what the correct places to go, or what the correct decision is to make. So I have a couple of words written on here, and they all basically mean different kind of decision-making frameworks that I picked up over the past to be able to get to where I'm now, right? The reason why I was able to scale from 0 to 40K a month in 14 months is because I've literally been studying how people actually think who are in my space, right? Obviously, it's a lot more than that, but that's like a big kind of component of that if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So there's a few things that I want to touch on. So a lot of people know me for my appointment setting abilities, right? So that's probably the thing that I'm best at, right? And obviously I showed you my calendar, right? And I'm booking like 3 to 6 sales calls every single day. And the reason why I was able to do that and I was able to build a system that's automatically doing that is because I learned this one principle from Alex Hormozi, right? That he basically says volume negates luck, okay? So if you put enough if you have a system, and this is another thing, systems theory, right? So if you have a system, right, which is basically inputs and something to process those and convert them into outputs, right? So if you have a system that can function, that's producing, like, let's say you have a 1% booking rate in your appointment booking system. If you put 100 messages through, you're going to get one appointment out, right? In terms of what volume negates luck means, right, is if you put so much freaking volume into the system, you're going to get a ton out, right? So basically, how I basically use this to make a lot of money is what I've basically done is right now I'm sending about 500 Instagram DMs every single day, and that's how I'm able to book so many calls, right? So if I go ahead and if I understand this, I'm going to be able to see just a little bit clearer, and I'm able to make this money, right? Now, most of this is still dark, right? But the difference again between me and like Elon Musk is he has so many of these like decision making frameworks that he can just like his vision is like super clear and he can see all these different things that I can't, right? And that's why it's important to basically understand these things. So that's basically how that works, right? Another example of when I've used this in the past, right, is less is more. So recently, I've been running my Instagram system for a while now, right? And the reply rate is starting to drop. And the reason why that's happening is because people have started to see the script a lot, right? So I basically had to make some changes. So when I was building up this new script, right, I didn't go ahead and I didn't like search on YouTube like what's the hottest script, right? Because that's what most people do, and they don't have the ability to think for themselves. But what I understand in copywriting is that less is more. Okay. So when I built this script, this was just the initial message that I'm sending, right? I changed it to just something, I forget exactly what it was, but it was just a one sentence question basically saying, hey, can I send you some strategies that booked me over 100 appointments last month? And the reason why that works so well is because less is more, right? And because I understood this decision making framework, I was able to build that script, remove this basically fog from my vision, and I was able to see what path I needed to take to make that money, right? Another big one is more, better, new. So when I was doing this outbound system with Instagram, right, this is just the easiest example. So I'm basically, I'm just using this example, right? I was doing about 150 appointments or 150 messages per day with this Instagram system, and I had a couple different options. I was able to start doing more DMs on like Facebook. I was able to start doing school DMs. I was able to start doing cold email. But what I learned again from Alex Hormozi is before you try to do anything new, you want to be able to do what you're currently doing better. And before trying to do what you're currently doing better, you want to try and do more of it. Okay? So I realized that it's so much easier just to send 300 DMs a day on Instagram instead of trying to do 150 on Instagram and then trying to build an entire new system for Facebook, right? So that's what I ended up doing, right? And because I was able to see just that little bit clearer, I was able to see more money essentially, right? And the issue is, right, and this is why people basically struggle when they don't have the information to make the decisions with, is that they don't know what to do, right? Every single piece of their like entire paradigm in terms of business, it's all covered with all these black dots and they can't see anything basically, right? And again, the reason for that, right, and this is why like compound interest is so powerful, is because once you understand these things, you can see so much, and you can like make decisions with so much more clarity because you know basically multiple ways to actually go about making decisions, solving problems, and things like that, right? Because ultimately, like I was saying before, making decisions and solving problems is the most important thing in business. And you would think like things like again like regression to the mean is a big one, entropy is a big one, right? You'd think that these things like they're so unrelated to business that they wouldn't help you at all, right? But the thing is, when you actually start to understand these, you see things that you wouldn't have otherwise seen. And when you can actually start to see that, right, and when you can actually start to understand the world in the way that the top level entrepreneurs do, and when you can actually start to think like someone who is at that next level, you're able to make so much more money, right? And that's why I spend so much time like learning, is because I know that the only difference, right, between me right now and me making 100K a month, which is my next milestone, is the way that I make decisions, right? So that's basically what I'm focusing on right now. I would recommend you do the same, right? And that's why things like mentorship and things like courses and like YouTube videos and things like that is so powerful. And even this video right now, like now you can see a little bit clearer as to like what you need to do basically, right? So hopefully that helps. If you want to work with me directly, obviously I can help you grow your agency. That's basically what I do, and help you get more appointments. So if you want more appointments guaranteed, you can click the first link in the description. If not, I will see you in the next video.